My first thought was, what would these same 31% of managers say about having diversity in their teams then? That was my first thought. Because this is a missed opportunity to me. And the missed opportunity is, if you think that skills are lacking, why not take the time to develop them? Why not take the time to recognize that there is benefits in intergenerational working? And it's also recognizing, and they reference this in this article as well, that a lot of the Gen Z have spent, it says here, spent college predominantly in remote or hybrid settings. So it's not, yes, it is on them to an extent to want to be ready and willing to learn, but at the same time, it's on the hiring managers to help them to develop the skills. No one said difference is easy, but to avoid it and steer clear. And I'll put the link in, but I have a podcast also, one particular episode, which is talking about the values of intergenerational working, because it's there. It is challenging. Of course it's challenging, but there's the responsibility on our side of those of us who are not Gen Z to help others recognize and realize our value, but conversely, to do the same, to recognize and realize and embrace their skill sets. I'm a geriatric millennial, so like I think I'm all right, but at the same time, I know that through my training and the way I had corporate training, that there's some things that I am still old school. It doesn't mean I am draconian and that I'll in any way keep to that only. But the point is that I recognize it, which means I can do something about it. But I also recognize that that can be a source of conflict if there is a difference. I'll give you an example. I didn't follow the whole furore, to be perfectly honest, but I just saw this one video about this young guy saying he prioritizes his health and his job doesn't start at 9 o'clock. So if he goes to the gym at 8 o'clock, why should he have to change? And it's this part, it's around understanding the needs, the priorities of a different generation doesn't make them wrong. And it's only by embracing all of those things. And maybe it's something for us who have been taught to be workaholics. Maybe, and this isn't about balance per se, it's about maybe we can learn a few things about prioritizing self-care, changing the culture in the workplace, driving the culture of the team for the positive. It's not always about being balanced. Sometimes you have to put in more work, agreed. But at the same time, it is about recognizing the value of other generations. And this right here for me was just it's a huge red flag, and it's a missed opportunity, because this view of these 31% of managers will not just apply to Gen Z. It will go broader than that. Because if you're going to say, well, these people can't do things exactly the way I like them because they're different to me. Yeah. I'm not so sure. And thankfully it's not over 50%, but still the number is far too high in terms of being able to create opportunities for Generation Z in the workplace, and recognizing crucial years were spent during a pandemic. And even if you watch the podcast, it's talking about anxiety around being in the workplace, etc., around so many people, all of these things. So yeah, I didn't like this one at all. And for a lot of organizations, this is a missed opportunity. And I think you have to be aware in engaging in conversations with these types of hiring managers and not letting it go by. And this is definitely something that should be flagged or should be watched out for by human resources, to make sure that if you're having applications, hopefully Gen Z is not being overlooked.